What's happening, y'all? Coming with a quick injury report update. First of all, it looks like Alex Smith will start against the Eagles, but we're going to dive into that and all of the other injuries between both teams. And before we get into all of that, man, make sure y'all for real go get one of these cups, man. They're elite, man. Got the Street Scores logo on it. Mama's Boy, they customized it for me. I didn't even design it myself. Street Scores, ATL, my @Twitter handle, Brody the Fluffy, Aja the Fluffy on it, man. They know me so well over there, man. Y'all definitely got to get y'all one of these cups. Comes with a straw and everything. So make sure y'all hit up Tazas by LK, TAZAS BYLK on Instagram. Make sure y'all follow them and get y'all one of these elite cups, bro. They really fine. And definitely tell them I sent you, man. For sure, for sure. Let's go ahead and get into this video. Let's get it. Alright, y'all, man, so it's looking like Alex Smith will start barring any unforeseen setbacks or random injuries. Unless something just out of the ordinary happens, it looks like he's ready to go against the Eagles. He will start. Taylor Heinicke will be the backup. And I'm kind of surprised because, I mean, for me, I want to just see what Taylor Heinicke can give us, because after that fourth quarter, which is like literally the best singular quarter any quarterback that has played for us this season has given us. If you just isolate everybody's best quarter all season from any of the quarterbacks that have played, Taylor Heinicke gave us the best singular quarter all year. I wanted to see what he can do starting out with a full week of practice versus the ones with the full week of the opposing defense game planning for him. I wanted to see what he can do for us, because I want to know what he may look like as far as 2021 goes for us. Will he be included in the quarterback competition? Who knows? But I understand with the playoffs on the line, you want to go with your most trustworthy quarterback, and that's Alex Smith. Because remember, you win, you get in. The Washington football team is in the driver's seat. You beat the Eagles, you win a division, you go to the playoffs, point blank, period. That's it. If you lose, then whoever wins between the Cowboys and Giants ends up winning that division. If we lose and the Cowboys win, they win a division and go to the playoffs. If we lose and the Giants win, they win a division and go to the playoffs. But we're in the driver's seat. Washington football team wins, they go to the playoffs. Doesn't matter what happens between the Cowboys and Giants. But if you look at this injury report, you lose to the Eagles, you don't deserve to go to the playoffs. Because, there was like a 2-3 week span where it looked like we may be able to send two teams to the playoffs. But now, nah. It's whoever wins the division goes to the playoffs and nobody else. Our records are too bad. We're right back to being one of the worst divisions in NFL history, if not the worst statistically. But again, this Eagles team is so beat up. Barnett is out. Sean Bradley is out. Fletcher Cox is out. Dallas Goedert is out. Desan Jackson is out, per usual. Jordan Mailata, and y'all know how I feel about Jordan Mailata. I told y'all he would end up being a good tackle. Y'all can go look back one of my mock drafts a couple of years ago, and I mocked us to get him. At the very least, I think I said we would get him as an undrafted free agent and give him a chance. Because I already knew that guy was crazy talented. It was just a matter of him learning the tackle position. Now look at him. I wish we would have gotten him, man. I really wanted him so bad. I knew he would be good. And then also Duke Riley's out. Richard Rodgers is out. Miles Sanders is out. It's starters all over the place. The defensive line is gone. The offensive line has been gone since the offseason and the beginning of the season. Their team is so beat up. If you don't beat them, you don't deserve playoffs, point blank, period. Because remember, this doesn't even include the injured reserve guys, the guys that have been out since the very beginning. These are just the most recent injuries that are on the injury report for this week. This is literally just this week's injuries of who may play, who may not play. Anybody that has definitively been out for at least 2 weeks or more and is like on injured reserve or not even included on this. Their team is basically just gone. There's no Eagles left. It's just Jalen Hurts, Alshon Jeffrey, and Jalen Reagor. And if the Washington football team can't beat that, you never deserve to go to the playoffs anyway. And as far as our injuries go, the only person out is Thomas Davis Sr., but he hasn't had a large impact anyway. He hasn't looked good when he's out there anyway, so he probably wasn't going to play much, if at all, anyway. And then Antonio Gibson, Terry McLaurin, Alex Smith, and Kevin Pierre-Louis all questionable. Out of those four, Terry McLaurin is the only one you really need to be afraid of not playing. But Antonio Gibson, Alex Smith, and Kevin Pierre-Louis look like they're good enough to start. Terry McLaurin is the only one you need to worry about. But at the end of the day, with how beat up the Eagles secondary is and everything that's going on, they're not going to have a pass rush. If there were one team that you would prefer to face without Terry McLaurin, it's probably the Eagles. Out of our entire schedule that we played this season, if there was one team that you would prefer to play against without Terry McLaurin and hope to win, you probably pick the Eagles, especially where they're at right now with all the injuries and everything. So Terry McLaurin will be missed, but I don't think it's going to have as much of an impact as it normally would because, I mean, the Eagles are just depleted. Our defensive line should eat against their offensive line. Our pass rush should eat against their quarterback. Our offensive line should be able to stop their pass rush. Our run game should be able to run over their defense, their front seven. Our front seven should be able to halt their run game. The only thing is just containing Jalen Hurts, but we've seen, and like I warned people, him coming out of college, Alabama, Oklahoma, he's mobile and his arm is pretty strong, but it's not very strong. But the thing about Jalen Hurts is that he's a bad decision maker. He's very inconsistent. All of the mental parts of quarterback, he just hasn't gotten it down yet. You never know. Maybe he can improve in all facets of the game, accuracy, decision making, and all of that, like a Josh Allen, but that rarely happens. So Jalen Hurts is not as big of a threat as many people thought he would be like 2-3 weeks ago when he first started emerging. Once teams finally had tape on him and were prepared to go against him, they were able to expose his weaknesses and his bad decision making. That's probably his biggest weakness, which can be a huge flaw to a quarterback's game. So I feel like we don't even really have to worry about Jalen Hurts like that. This is a very winnable game. I mean, again, you don't win this, you don't deserve to go to the playoffs, point blank, period. And even though I feel like this Alex Smith will struggle just because of his injuries, I feel like we don't need Alex Smith to be great. Because, I mean, first of all, the Alex Smith we've gotten this season, even the best game he's had all season against the Detroit Lions, the Alex Smith we've gotten in 2020 is only 80% of the 2018 Alex Smith and the Kansas City Chiefs Alex Smith, because he's just been banged up from that injury. It was a miracle that he's even come back from that injury. He obviously deserves comeback player of the year. By far, it's not even close. I hate people even trying to bring up Ben Roethlisberger. It's not even a competition. Alex Smith won that. But even so, he's still only 80% of his true self, I feel like, this season. And that's why I feel like at best we've gotten 2.5 quarters out of Alex Smith this season of just at least decent quarterback play. Because even the Steelers game, Alex Smith was looking bad until the last drive going into the halftime, where we were able to put up some points before we went into halftime. And then he came out third and fourth quarter and gave us average to pretty decent quarterback play. And if our team can win with Alex Smith at best giving you 2.5 quarters a game, I feel like him being as hurt as he is now shouldn't really affect the outcome of this game. I feel like with the way our defense is, with how explosive Antonio Gibson and J.D. McKissic are, and with how banged up the Eagles are, I could probably go out there at quarterback and win this game. So Alex Smith really doesn't have to do much. He probably doesn't even have to be that mobile because the pass rush is going to get mitigated by our offensive line. He doesn't have to force anything because this run game is going to be potent enough and our defense is going to be able to stop the Eagles from scoring. So he's going to more than likely play from ahead the majority of this game. So even though Alex Smith probably is only 80% of that 80% because this most recent injury has been lingering like crazy and I feel like it will affect him for the rest of his career, maybe even the rest of his life, just with how his calf muscle is set up. There's like a full breakdown of it by a doctor on Twitter somewhere. I forgot where I saw it, but he broke it down and basically said like Alex Smith's calf strain to a normal person would just be day to day, but for him, with him already losing calf muscle due to his previous injury and surgery, it's gonna linger for a while. So I don't know about Alex Smith as far as 2021 goes for the burgundy and gold. I just highly doubt that he's gonna be our starting quarterback with how that injury set up, but I feel like he may be at least decent enough to lead you to a win today, or at least get carried to a win. If you can beat the Steelers with Alex Smith at most giving you 2.5 quarters of decent quarterback play, I think you can beat the Eagles with Alex Smith at least giving you 1 quarter of decent quarterback play, or 2.5 quarters of below average quarterback play, whichever way you want to look at it. But yeah, man, it just looks like we should win every matchup. Our defensive line versus their offensive line, our offensive line versus their defensive line, our receivers versus their DBs, our DBs versus their receivers, especially since Jalen Hurts only has really 2 guys to go to with no running game to help create opportunities in the passing game. And then our run game versus their front seven, their run game versus our front seven. I think we literally win every matchup. You just avoid Darius Slay, you can throw it pretty much to anybody. So I'm definitely expecting us to win this game. It's our game to lose. It's our division to lose. If we lose, it's because we shot ourselves in the foot most likely. You got to watch Steven Sims on these punts with the way he muffs them and fumbles them. You got to watch Dustin Hopkins for those misses on those field goals and PATs also. But I'm honestly expecting us to win like 24-14 or something. Maybe even a bigger gap than that. The Eagles are depleted. We're just more talented and better. The only reason I feel like we would lose is because of just terrible quarterback play, and a mix of that with Dustin Hopkins and maybe just bad special teams overall with Steven Sims muffin punts. Other than that, we should win every matchup up and down the field and be able to move the ball, and they shouldn't be able to even move the ball and put up points like that. But As always, man, I appreciate the view. Definitely like this video if you liked it. If you learned anything, please get in the comments and let me know what y'all predictions are and y'all reactions to the injury reports and Alex Smith starting against the Eagles. Y'all already know, like I said, I would have preferred to see Taylor because I'm more worried about 2021 and I want to see what he can do. But I understand that starting Alex Smith to play it safe. Even though, again, I feel like I can go out there at quarterback with how depleted the Eagles are and possibly win this game. And as always, man, please subscribe if you haven't. Definitely hit the bell next to the subscription button so you get a notification every time I release a video like this one. Every time I release a live stream like that Taylor Heinicke live stream I just did, the Cameron Curl one, the two Chase Young ones I've done this season, Terry MClaurin, Antonio Gibson. I'm coming with more for the rest of this regular season. If we go into the postseason, I'll be coming with more film sessions then. And of course, I'm hitting y'all with a lot of off-season film sessions of players that played for us already, that are currently already on the team, and players we may want to go get, maybe potential free agents, maybe draft prospects. So expect a lot of film sessions even on the off season, because even though the NFL's on the off season, I'm not. You know what I'm saying? Content's still coming. And as always, man, shouts out to everybody that gives to the channel, everybody that donates. Big shouts out to all of my sponsors, especially my Pro Bowl sponsors whose names you see scrolling on the screen right now. Wouldn't be able to do it without y'all, man. I really appreciate it. Keeping the movement strong, keeping the movement going. I'll catch y'all later. I'm out.